Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. BBC Pundit stunned by what Xhaka is doing at Arsenal right now. Arsenal continued their unbeaten run in the Premier League, but weren't at their best yesterday. Mikel Arteta's side came away from St Mary's with a point after a 1-1 draw with Southampton. BBC Sport pundit Garth Crooks picked one Arsenal player in his team of the week. Midfielder Granit Xhaka made the cut after scoring his third goal of the season. The Swiss international smashed the ball past Gavin Bazunu after an accurate cross from Ben White. Xhaka is arguably playing his best football in an Arsenal shirt this season. Credit has to go to Arteta for moving Xhaka into a more attacking role, and he is certainly repaying the faith put in him to contribute more going forward. Kevin Campbell has been stunned by Xhaka's improvement, and Crooks agrees that his transformation has been remarkable. Writing on BBC Sport, Crooks was in disbelief about the season Xhaka was having. "This can't be happening," Crooks said. Granit Xhaka, once the most unpopular player ever in an Arsenal shirt, is scoring goals. Gabriel Martinelli and Bukayo Saka are playing out of their skins. The Gunners are still top of the table, and I can't see anyone stopping them at the moment. It's like a nightmare unfolding in front of your very eyes. Thank goodness Arsenal are having to play 3 games a week, including European football matches. Fortunately, the Suns played the Gunners at the right time. A fresh Arsenal would have destroyed Southampton. Xhaka has made himself indispensable to Arteta this season, appearing in every Arsenal match in all competitions. Martin Odegaard has backed Xhaka to be handed another contract, and a few Arsenal fans would begrudge that decision. Initially signed for £30 million from Borussia Mönchengladbach, Xhaka's time at the Emirates has been a roller coaster. However, he is now firmly in the fans' good books, especially with the Gunners still sitting top of the table. The World Cup break is quickly approaching, and Xhaka and his teammates will be making one last push before the season is paused. Gabriel Jesus shares what the referee told him at full time after Arsenal vs Southampton. Gabriel Jesus has now shared what referee Robert Jones told him at full time after Arsenal's draw with Southampton. The Gunners were held to a 1-1 draw on the South Coast yesterday after Stuart Armstrong cancelled out Granit Xhaka's early opener. Mikel Arteta's men dominated for large parts of the game and created plenty of chances to take all 3 points back to London. Jesus had a couple of decent chances on the day, but couldn't manage to find a way past Gavin Bazunu. But the Brazilian has revealed that he could have been awarded a penalty had he gone down a bit earlier for one of his chances. Speaking to Arsenal's official website, Jesus shared what Jones told him right after the final whistle yesterday. "I spoke with him straight after, and he said if you go down before, maybe I can give you a penalty," he said, "but I think I was fair. I tried to hold and keep standing and tried to finish the action, but in the end he grabbed me and it was impossible, so I went down normally. But that is not the reason why we didn't win the game. We had a lot of chances." The Gunners certainly created enough chances on the day to pick up all 3 points. Jesus will be disappointed to have not grabbed at least 1 goal after having 3 good opportunities for a player of his quality, but Mikel Arteta's men still remain at the top of the Premier League and open it up a 2-point gap between themselves and Manchester City. Jesus and the Gunners will be aiming to bounce back next Sunday as they host Nottingham Forest at the Emirates. BBC Pundit now thinks £27 million Arsenal man could cost them games with his mistakes this season. BBC Pundit Nigel Reyo-Coker believes that Arsenal defender Gabriel Magalhaes is the weak link in the team. Speaking on BBC 5 Live, Reyo-Coker was discussing Arsenal's fantastic start to the season. The Gunners currently sit top of the table, and Mikel Arteta has elevated some of his young players to the highest levels they have ever reached. However, Reyo-Coker believes that one of those players, Gabriel Magalhaes, is still a liability. The Brazilian defender has the full backing of the club and this week signed a new contract that keeps him at the club until 2027. Gabriel said that he wanted to stay at the club for years to come, and Arsenal fans will be very glad to hear that. However, Rio Coker still thinks that Gabriel could be the weak link in Arsenal's defense. Rio Coker was still unsure of Arsenal's title credential when speaking on BBC 5 Live. However, he did admit that the 24-year-old has played very well this season alongside William Saliba. I think Gabriel's done fantastic this season as part of the centre-back pairing of Gabriel and Saliba, Rio Coker said. I feel that Gabriel still is a liability for Arsenal and still is one of the defenders that you would say is the weak link in that Arsenal team, who will be probably responsible for one or two mistakes that could maybe cost them a game. Gabriel arrived at the Emirates from Lille for £27 million in 2020 and immediately established himself in the first team. Edu has admitted he's been seriously impressed by how much Gabriel has improved since arriving at the Emirates. Gabriel is the only Arsenal player to make an error leading to a goal, according to the league's official statistics. Rio Coker appears to be trying to find ways to avoid saying Arsenal are a good team by saying he thinks Gabriel is the weak link. Dixon blown away by what Martin Odegaard did against Southampton. Arsenal were given one of their toughest tests of the season so far yesterday as Southampton put up staunch resilience at St. Mary's. The Gunners are flying high at the top of the table, but found a Southampton side who simply refused to go away as they battled on the south coast. Granit Xhaka had scored within the opening 15 minutes for Arsenal, but Southampton refused to lie down and scored themselves through Armstrong in the 65th minute. However, while it might not have been the relentless Arsenal we have got used to watching recently, there were still moments of high quality, and one of those moments of quality came from Martin Odegaard, who delivered what Dixon praised as a Dennis Bergkamp-esque pass to Gabriel Jesus. That's Dennis Bergkamp's skill. It's high praise. Only certain players think of that. I wouldn't even have thought of that. The quickness of thought is something Dennis would do, Dixon said on a Premier League Productions. Odegaard, who was given the captain's armband by Mikel Arteta, has been a revelation this season for the Gunners. Along with the new signings like Jesus and Zinchenko, he has helped Arsenal into the position they are right now. Martin Odegaard is definitely fulfilling that massive potential that saw Real Madrid sign him as a 15-year-old. He looks a mature and quality Premier League midfielder, and he really is key for Arsenal. His pass to Jesus was a moment of brilliance as well, and is exactly the sort of pass which has seen the Gunners create so many chances this season. The Bergkamp comparison is a big one from Dixon, but the pass warranted it on this occasion given the quality. Mikel Arteta said that we gave ourselves a problem against Southampton. Mikel Arteta has given an honest reflection on his side's 1-1 draw to Southampton at St. Mary's Stadium on Sunday, October 24. The Gunners went into the game with a near-perfect record, 9 wins and 1 loss in 10 matches played. Taking something from the game was crucial for Arsenal as Manchester City's 3-1 win over Brighton and Hove Albion moved them to within 1 point of the league leaders. Post-match, the Arsenal manager said, "No complaints, this is football. We were really good in the first half and controlled totally the game. We created loads of big chances that we didn't put away in the Premier League. Unfortunately, if you don't do that when you are top of the game, you can have some difficulties. In the second half, we put ourselves in a problem with the amount of giveaways that we had, especially with ball possession, and that didn't allow us to control the game the way we wanted. Their direct play and long throws and set pieces disrupted the game a lot. We tried to react, and I still think in the second half, the 2 biggest chances were ours, but we didn't put them away." Gabriel Martinelli impresses Pundit with his work rate against Southampton. Steve Sidwell was impressed by the work rate of Gabriel Martinelli in Arsenal's 1-1 draw against Southampton. The attacker has been a key player for the club this season, but we are used to seeing him easily attack opponents. One side of his game that seems developed but underappreciated is his defending. Against the Suns, he ran back a few times to help his defensive teammates in their efforts to keep the score down. On one occasion, Sidwell was impressed and he said on BBC Radio 5 Live, "Excellent tracking back from Martinelli. He is not scared of doing the hard yards at all." Martinelli's game has matured this season, and the attacker has shown how improved he has been in recent games. The Brazilian has been a key contributor in the games we have won so far, and it's great to see that he does not neglect his defensive duties. To achieve success, every player must contribute to the attack and defense, and Martinelli seems to understand this. We need him to become more productive at the other end of the pitch. If he was more potent, we could have been 2 goals up before Sutton equalised. Jamie Redknapp calls out Ben White for his part in Southampton's equaliser. Jamie Redknapp has criticised Ben White for his defending of Southampton's equalising goal. Arsenal dropped points against a stubborn Suns side after failing to score another goal to secure the points. William Saliba's emergence has forced Ben White to play as a right back this season. He has done so impeccably well for most of this campaign, but he made a mistake for the Suns goal and Redknapp called him out for it. He said via Express Sports, "We were saying with Saliba and Gabriel as the 2 centre-backs, Ben White gets drawn across and he doesn't know whether to run across," Redknapp told Sky Sports. "He comes across and there he is a centre-back. You have got to stay as a centre-back. He sees him too late and by that time it's a goal. Southampton deserved it, showed great character under a lot of pressure. I thought they were impressive in the second half and deserved it." Very good chance of Arsenal target Evan Ndicka moving on a free transfer. There is apparently a very good chance of Eintracht Frankfurt defender Evan Ndicka leaving his current club on a free transfer as he heads towards the end of his contract. This is according to Fabrizio Romano in his exclusive column for Couth Offside with the Italian journalist, addressing the recent speculation linking Ndicka as a possible target for Arsenal. The France under-21 international has impressed in the Bundesliga and looks like he could be a good option for the Gunners, especially if he is soon to become a free agent. The Evening Standard have linked Ndicka with Arsenal, and Romano has added that there is a lot of interest in the 23-year-old, with the clubs exploring the situation at the moment. Although Romano did not name Arsenal in particular, he acknowledged that there is interest from the Premier League as well as from other in Europe. "There are many, but really many clubs interested in Ndicka," Romano explained. "I am told there is a very good chance for Ndicka to leave on a free. So many clubs, not just in England, are exploring the situation." Arsenal already have William Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes and Ben White as solid options at centre-back, so it's not clear if Ndicka makes sense as a priority for them right now. Still, the best clubs need to have strength and depth, so it might be smart for Arsenal to pounce for Ndicka as another option in that department, especially as top talents like him being available on a free doesn't happen every day. Arsenal to compete with Real Madrid to sign Dutch international Cody Gakpo. Arsenal are set to compete with Real Madrid to sign Dutch international Cody Gakpo. Gakpo has had an impressive season for PSV and he seems to be getting better game by game. The Dutch international managed another 2 assists in their latest game on Sunday, and his performances have been turning the heads of some of the biggest clubs in Europe. A report from Spanish outlet Vigaches has claimed that both Real Madrid and Arsenal are interested in signing Gakpo next summer, with PSV looking to demand around 50 million euros for the attacker. Gakpo has managed 13 goals and 13 assists in just 20 games so far this season, a ridiculous output in both Europe and the Eredivisie. It wouldn't be a surprise to see more clubs enter the race to sign Gakpo, and Fabrizio Romano recently confirmed to Couth Offside via his Substack column that Manchester United are still keeping tabs on the Dutchman despite signing Antony in the summer transfer window. It's likely to be a competitive race to secure the signature of Gakpo next summer, but if Arsenal continue their fine form this season, they could be an attractive prospect. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.